Before we get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favour. Number 1, like the video. Also comment, let me know your thoughts on the case. A woman from Wirral made the colossal mistake of believing that her looks and the fact that she is a woman and was crying would keep her out of jail for a road rage incident that left a man with a gaping hole in his arm. On June 15th of this year, Dad Peter Hamlet was the passenger in a brown Vauxhall being driven by his girlfriend Tammy along Hoy Lake Road in Wirral at around 6 p.m. Now it's important to note that his 9-year-old daughter was in the car in the back seat at the time of the incident. Now during travel, Chelsea Mighall was in a Nissan Qashqai and had went from left to right pushing away through traffic. Now Chelsea Mighall had then entered into a lane in front of Peter Hamlet. Now Peter's partner was forced to slam on the brakes in order to avoid impact. Now Peter's partner, Tammy Winstanley, pressed her horn in annoyance, so Chelsea stopped her own car and then exited the vehicle, confronting Tammy and Peter, despite seeing a 9-year-old child in the back seat. Now Chelsea and Tammy got face to face. Chelsea swore at the mom, dad and child and then began to rant and rave, her hands flailing around. 35-year-old Chelsea Mighall then shouted, "I'm going to do you know what in the head, you fat cow." Now the two women squared up and Tammy attempted to aim a blow at Chelsea. Eventually, everyone got back in their own vehicles. However, Chelsea Mighall was fuming, so Chelsea followed Tammy and Peter, cutting them off multiple times on the roundabout and also undertaking and overtaking, blocking their lane. Now Chelsea kept blocking Tammy, so much so that Tammy and Peter were forced to do a U-turn in order to avoid Chelsea. Now during the altercation, Chelsea then called her boyfriend, Rory Pearson, 16 separate times and demanded him to get to her location because someone needed to pay. Eventually, Rory arrived in his Renault Capture and then both Chelsea and Rory, in their separate cars, trapped Tammy and Peter at Morton Roundabout. Tammy sought refuge eventually at a pub car park where they parked their vehicle. Rory then got out of the car with a machete. Rory latched onto Peter and then chased him down the road, slashing in the air and poking and jabbing and thrusting. Now the incident was caught on CCTV. Now Peter was running for his life and eventually he was slashed in the arm, with so much force that the metal left a gaping hole in the arm that went right down into the bone. Now Chelsea had arrived moments later after the incident had already taken place. Now Rory claimed to police he had the machete in his possession as he was a keen fisherman, something that he liked to do at night, and used the blade in order to chop wood for campfires. In court, both Chelsea and Rory claimed they did not notice the 9-year-old child in the back seat, and they both expressed their remorse. Rory explaining that he once became a carer for his elderly grandparents. Now Chelsea Mighall was sentenced to 2 years as she cried, where she's already in prison at the moment, and Rory Pearson, who's already in prison himself, was sentenced to 5 years. Does the crime match the sentence? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe.